Hey guys, Deja Vu here, bringing you the first audio commentary for 2010. And this is actually going to be a game played from last year, so long ago, epochs ago, a whole decade ago, yeah, like a week ago. That it's going to be another turn showing, Turn versus Hydra. And I gotta be honest that I'm doing this mostly just because of Turn. Turn is like, I love Turn. Turn is great. And, he's he entertains me to no end, and I think he entertains a lot of other people with his very aggressive play here, and he's gonna have another chance to get a win against Hydra. Turn he goes for very early game strategy, goes all in. We saw an all-in build. We've seen essentially what he did against Bisu was essentially all-in. What he did against Quadro was extremely all-in, and we saw a little bit of indecisiveness there in that Quadro game. But overall, very entertaining player, extremely entertaining. Almost it feels like he's like a new Berserker Terran, the new Iris for Samsung Khan, and he just absolutely stresses on his micro and early game strategies. And if Hydra isn't necessarily scouting as well as he should here on Outsider, or if he doesn't prepare as carefully as he should, and doesn't detect when Turn pushes out, that could end up posing a huge problem for Hydra. I mean, Turn's got a great chance here against a player who's maybe not awful. Hydra I wouldn't say is awful. At the same time, I wouldn't say Hydra's great, but he's kind of a middle-of-the-road player. And yeah, Turn definitely has a chance here, and I question whether or not Turn has the potential to be a truly good player, just because we haven't seen him play a normal game yet. And the good players are the players that get to the stages of Star Leagues where you have to actually play best of 3s, best of 5s, where you have to be able to play standard. There is just no alternative. You can't cheese every single game. You can't all in every single game and hope to win consistently in best of 3s and best of 5s. We do have a forward Rax here that's just completed for Turn, so he's going to produce some early Marines here. He might be going for one of those early game bunker rushes. That is a possibility, but we have a drone scout from Hydra, and he's going to attack this out. One thing I will say is that we've only seen a couple games from Turn, so I know I'm calling him kind of like a Neo Berserker right now, but I hesitate really to try and pin that on him already, because we've seen this before where players start to look good, and we try to talk about what kind of player they emulate and how they might be a Neo version, but they don't always live up to that hype. So let's be careful about doing that sort of thing for sure before we start hyping up too much. We do have several drones up the line to try and deal with these early Marines that are coming in here, as he did do a 12 hatch, so he's not going to have Zerglings out for a little while here. It looks like Turn's trying to figure out a way to try and get a bunker up. He's probably just waiting for that second Marine, and once he has that second Marine in here and it arrives, he'll be able to fend off these drones pretty easily with that singular SCV. And we're seeing the first-person view of Turn here, as he's got some pretty solid micro here, also macroing pretty well, not producing any more Marines, lifting off that Rax, going to use it to form a block at his natural at his main ramp, and just kind of descend into a normal play here, which is really smart by him. I think going for kind of a fake all-in, only producing two Marines. He can still do almost a 1 Rax and a CC build out of this, and Hydra's going to think that this is a very much of an early push build. So we could see Hydra, or we could see Turn actually trying to do something like that, but we're not. It's a factory already down. So yeah, it's actually going to be early either mech play or possibly go back to Wraiths, which we saw him do against Yarnak, I believe, on this very same map. So that is another possibility. And just talking about some of those players that that have definitely gotten hyped before for some of their Neo play. One of them is definitely Harangue 2, Harangue, who was definitely called almost like a new Nara for his innovative cheeses. But he doesn't look like Harangue 2 was really panned out like some people were hoping. Same thing happened with Kanata when he was supposed to be the new I Love Uv, who you know, the new descendant of Boxer, and didn't quite live up. Not that Kanata's a bad player. Kanata is a solid player, but just wasn't quite living up to the hype that was kind of given to him. And by the way, Turn is going for 2-port Wraiths here. So yeah, 1 Vulture right into 2-port Wraiths, very standard. And if Hydra produces a Hydra's Den and detects this coming, he would be in an extremely good spot. And since that Vulture is there, Hydra has to know that there's going to be either more mech or air units coming, and a Hydra's Den is the way to respond, and he is producing that Hydra's Den right now. We do have starports coming out, our Wraiths about to pop already, and no control tower, so these are going to be the earliest possible Wraiths. They won't have cloaking. and this Overlord is floating into Turn's base, and I wonder what it detected that made it turn around. Maybe it was just maybe Hydra just felt he might have been a little bit too far over that ridge, or he might have seen that the barracks wasn't producing anything and there was no command center, so that might have given him an inkling as to what's occurring right now with the raids. I almost wish that Terran did what he did in his game versus Yarnak, where he would have, I think he had the exact same start positions too, where he went to the 12 o'clock position and snuck a vulture through, tricked it through with an SCV and got a lot of drone kills, did a lot of damage that way. Unfortunately, his vulture in this game has just not done nearly as much, and we see the rates out right now. Hydras are already out. These rates might have some success in terms of picking off Overlords if they're maybe straying a little bit. Might have moderate success picking off a couple drones. Looks like he'll be able to pick off one here. Yeah, he was successful in picking off at least that one drone. But he needs to do more damage here, and it looks like he's really committing to this, continuing to produce 2 more rates, and also has that control tower down. So he's either going to be getting cloaking for his rates, or it could also be a transition to a dropship play. But either way, it is going to be one base play, and not surprised at all to see Turn going for this one base play. That does seem to be his MO, his modicum operandi, is his one base style. And he's going for very aggressive play here, forcing forcing Hydra to play simply off of 2 bases, and playing very defensively as well. But Hydra, I feel, is responding very intelligently to this, producing Hydras, placing them in his mineral lines, not over producing say spore colonies, or responding in an overly frantic manner here at all. Playing very, very smart. Looks like his Hydras here might actually get picked off some nice little Wraith micro here. Actually, I think Hydra needs to get some more Hydras into his natural line, and yeah, that's just really annoying. Hydra needs to get more Hydras, and some very nice Wraith micro here, picking off some more Scourge, and now we've got some Mutalisk out in the air, and I don't know how they're able to see. I think there was one Wraith that maybe wasn't cloaked or something. I have no idea how they were. Otherwise, I have no idea how they were seeing all those Wraiths. It looks like more Wraiths have gone down. One Overlord left, almost dead. If that Overlord goes down, the cloaked Wraiths once again will have free reign. But he's got to be running low on energy, and I think what's going on here. And he needs that swoop. He had the swoop there. Oh, he missed his opportunity. He had a swoop in there to pull it off. And yeah, some very interesting play going on here. Those Wraiths are just barely within sight of that Overlord every time they swoop. It is so close. That is the extreme edge of that Overlord's sight, and Terran unfortunately being forced to fight into it. We have another barracks going down, so this is going to be a transition into Medic Marine. I don't know if I see an Academy. Don't see an Academy as far as I can tell. He brought his race back. Look like he's probably going to